No, I don't think it could go off now.
Yeah, there's a filter here.
Yeah, I checked it,
Okay.
and I did the box.
I don't know what I was thinking when I told you it's less humid today. It is not. Oh, I got you a bag to carry all your shit.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You want me to put this in it?
Well, no, but you could put the copy on the bench, and the other one goes back to the clipboard.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. Cop. I don't even.
Well, just take them up there and put them
I'll take 'em
down.
up there.
Thank you.
I've got that turquoise bag for you to carry all your stuff in. If you don't like the fact that it says liquor store on it, you can turn it inside out.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That was a good idea.
That's what I do.
Morning, Bill.
Morning.
Glad to see you're here,
Yeah,
more or less.
more or less. Yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Hello.
Hi, Carol.
Where have you returned from, Bill?
Uh, Maine, a few days in Maine. Yeah. So, not a big international trip this time. So.
Yeah.
That's good. So, is John having issues, Carol?
Well, he just is recovering from a stomach something or other, and gastrointestinal.
Uh,
Not vomiting, but just feeling nauseous and it hurting to eat, which
mm,
he does periodically.
mm-hmm.
Um, which, when that's going on, he doesn't eat, except the tapioca he takes with his pills,
Mm,
and drinks some juice. And for a little while, he was drinking some chicken broth. So he just gets weaker
Yeah.
and sleeps a lot, which is probably good for healing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. But he's started eating again for the last 2, 3 days.
Oh, good.
So maybe getting a little strength left. Felt well enough to go to a PT appointment yesterday, which he didn't last week. So
Oh, good.
we'll see.
Yeah. One step at a time.
Yeah. And we have an appointment today with a woman who is the head of a group called Comfort Keepers,
Hmm.
and they do yeah, home health care
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Oh, good.
So we're gonna kind of get that started, so that when I go to my mom's memorial in October,
Yeah.
with something all in place for somebody to come stay with him for a couple of days.
Oh, that's good.
Um, one son-in-law was going to, but he usually works remotely, but he has to go to Ottawa in person for a meeting for work for 3 days. So he can't do it. And the other son-in-law has offered, but John doesn't think he could stand to be in the same room with him for
Oh.
that long. And we have to figure out a polite way to say thanks, but no thanks.
Right. Right. Ah, what fun.
So, but having our foot in the door with these people,
Mm-hmm.
it gives me more options to when he's particularly bad, that I can
Yeah.
go someplace and know that he'll be okay. So,
Yeah. Good. Morning, Mr. Bynum.
can't hear you, David.
You can't hear me?
Is that me?
No?
I
Oh,
can hear David all fine.
I
It's
can't
you.
hear anybody.
It's you, Carol.
I didn't touch anything.
I can hear you.
I can hear Carol.
Right. Yeah.
Can someone talk so I can see if I can hear
Hello.
anybody?
Here we are. We're all here except Joanne.
I'm going to go out and come in again. And see
Okay.
if that will make a difference.
All right.
Unless there's something. Can somebody say something?
Hello. We're here.
Okay.
You're back
Yeah,
in
it's
the
back.
land of the hearing.
Yes. I don't know what that was. I don't think I even touched anything. Just suddenly.
Oh, good. Uh, well, apparently Joanne is delayed. Let's see if I have a text from her. Nope. Okay. Well, let us go ahead and perhaps she'll be able to join us. So, just to fill you guys in, Bill Nagel already kind of knows this, but I had an incident last week in which I thought I was having a heart attack. And so, of course, I went to the ER. Turned out I just had fluid in my lungs. And so they put me in the hospital for 24 hours. And I dropped 10 pounds in 24 hours as they got the fluid out. And I'm fine. There are no other issues. Took me 2 or 3 days to begin to recover, even from that little bit. But this is the first class I've taught since then, so I am definitely getting better. So.
Did they drain it somehow, or?
They give you LASIK by IV, which causes you to urinate a lot, and that's how they drain it, and it worked very efficiently.
Did they have a suggestion about why? Is it that your heart is slowing down, or?
No. The only things they could suggest I wasn't really doing, so we're not really sure. Although I have an appointment this afternoon with my cardiologist PA to perhaps get a little clearer about all of this. So, but I'm doing well now. Interesting.
Well, better than. Did this just come on, or were we sort of feeling it along and then decided it might be a heart attack?
Actually, I was feeling it along, but I didn't realize it. One of its primary symptoms is periods of breathlessness. What happened, the trigger was that I went for a short walk. It was, I think, about 600 steps, so not that long. But as I was coming back, I developed chest pressure and discomfort and dizziness, and felt very weak, and just managed to get home and tell Jane I thought we better go to the ER. So.
Yeah. Those are all the classic symptoms, at least part of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but my heart was fine. Is fine, as fine as it can be at this point. So I just have to be careful. They tell you the usual things. Don't eat salt. Don't have too much water. Neither of which I do. As a matter of fact, in the blood test, my salt level was at the bottom of the range. So it's a little hard. I don't really know why it occurred. So, but now that I know what to be aware of, we can do something about it. So, how is opening and closing your ribs going? Either well or awful.
When you were not here, I've just replayed that session, and that was useful. I think it is not breakthrough, but I think it is expanding my practice a bit as I try to open
Yeah.
that whole barrel. And, yeah.
I think, one of the things I realized I didn't say clearly in that session is that the lower ribs in both front and back actually open both vertically and horizontally. The higher ribs in both the front and the back only open horizontally. And I don't know, it just seemed to me that was a piece of information that I wasn't clear enough about. Not that it makes a great deal of difference, but perhaps helps a little. I don't know. Carol or Bill, you have any questions or thoughts?
Well, one of the things I noticed is that I can sort of pay attention on my right and not maybe because that's the shoulder that I have to pay attention to make sure I'm not moving it poorly. But the left is kind of there and not there. It's sort of odd. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I know this is got to be going on both sides, but
Ah.
and when I try to and I just kind of naturally go into reverse breathing. So on one hand, it's closing on my inhale, and my intellect is saying, "Wait a minute, your lungs are expanding. How could your ribs be closing?" But I don't.
They are.
But it
You're thinking too much about that one.
yeah. So okay, yes, I don't know about I do know a little bit about anatomy, but that's not pertinent right now. Just the closing. If I'm closing the dantian, I better be closing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
if I can let go and do that, there's a little bit of awareness, not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Certainly working with reverse breathing is good because that's where we're moving towards eventually doing all the time in God's. But it doesn't have to be at the moment. Sometimes it's a little easier to begin with longevity breathing, but perhaps not. I mean, that's, I think, an individual awareness, experience, whatever works best for you.
And when I'm trying to do 7,
Mm-hmm.
certainly it's going to have to be different on each side, but
Mhm.
it's feeling like I'm extending as I'm going down with my arms and shoulders, but my ribs are closing, or
So
I'm probably maybe again trying to think this too much, but it's just very hard to be aware of what is going on here.
Well, I think the one thing you can do with your thinking is decide what form of breathing you're doing and where you are opening and closing. And absolutely, when you're going down on one side, that side is closing, and the other side is opening, and then they reverse, and everything opens together, everything closes together. There's no on the side that's involved when we're talking about 7. So it's if you are finding it difficult to feel that, then maybe you're not closing everything together yet.
Well, definitely not there, and I've been opening. It feels like my arm wants to open when I'm going on the side I'm going down. So if it's supposed to be closing there, then I have to readjust that.
Yeah. Well, as you go down, one of the things is that if you think about the twisting, there is a twisting in and actually a very subtle bending that's going on, starting with the arm
Okay.
and obviously with the rest of the body. But you do want to really think about getting everything to work together, and actually it's a good practice to do. I'll give you a way to work on it today with some difficulty, but it's a good thing to work on getting everything to work together without too much other movement involved, or at least not too much other confusing movement, and certainly 7 can be confusing. That's the first time that we have actively worked on one side opening and one side closing. It's certainly going on pretty constantly in the form, in a Tai Chi form, but not
And the
necessarily.
Chan Tzu Chin.
Yeah, and not necessarily, however, in Qigong. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So you just have to be clear about where you want to open and close.
Okay, well, that clarifies it a lot for me. So,
Good, good. Mr. Nagel?
I missed the class on the ribs, but I've read the notes and watched most, if not all, of the video. So, and somewhere in the past, I've worked with the ribs. I can't put my finger on it, but as long as I am focused just on the ribs, I think I've got them working the way they're supposed to be. But of course, at the beginning of just about anything I do in the practice, I'm capable of fooling myself into
Aren't we all?
it's happening when it may be or it may not be, but I think it is. The problem begins when I do anything other than focus on the ribs, then they get lost.
Yeah. So the same thing that I just said to Carol, really
Yeah.
developing the ability to coordinate all of that together. And there's more yet to be added. So this is not, we haven't completed opening and closing.
no, I mean, it's a whole bottom part of the body there.
Yeah, oh, son of a gun, there is, isn't there?
Yeah, I just keep telling myself, well, there's no end to this, so
Absolutely. So I think one of the things that I would say is if you feel you can clearly open and close the ribs, then the next step is to try to coordinate it with everything else before you really get heavily into any form. So that you're clear about that, because it's when you're doing a form, it gets very difficult to be aware of how you want to move and what's going on inside of you and coordinate all the opening and closing and make everything work together. I mean, it is very confusing sometimes. So, like everything else, you have to be at a point where you can open and close everything comfortably together without having to think about it. And then it's not a problem. No longer an issue. It may be an issue to incorporate it in the practice, but basically you have what you need in order to be able to do that. So we're going to kind of stick with the ribs today, in that I want to think about opening and closing the ribs and bend the bow. What's happening with the back in all of this? It said also, I'm gonna interrupt myself here. Bill referred to the ribs having appeared previously. One of the places where we really work on that, and the spine, is heaven and earth. Because one of the places where where the ribs are really an important part of the opening and closing is on the second movement, where the arms are going back and we're still opening. And very often people tend to push the elbows back in that movement, and that actually begins to close some, as well as close in one direction but open in the other. So that's one of the places where we do learn about the ribs in terms of opening and closing previously, because how do you get to here, and then we think, hey, the arms are bending and coming back in. Isn't that a bend? Isn't that a close? Nope, it's an opening. So you have to. It's a really good place to practice that, and it is that opening of two that's really where the emphasis is on the ribs. I'll just throw that one out to you. So the biggest thing is that you want to really make sure that the opening and closing of your ribs is very clearly joined to the opening and closing of the joints in your arms. And you have to do that first. You clearly have to feel that first. Then you get your dantian to open and close with the ribs and arms. And then for people that know how to do bend the bow, and I think we've talked about that enough that you are doing bend the bow in the form. The fact of the matter is that all the movements inside the spine are going to be directed by the opening and closing of the dantian. But the mechanics of that is something that we worked on in Marriage of Heaven and Earth. Now, if we just do God's plane in the clouds for a little bit, we're going to focus on really getting the ribs and the entire upper body to work together. So if you'd stand up for a little bit. And we are going to do movement 3, but take a moment to just stand and let yourself settle and establish your breath. Allow your mind to extend through your body. Now the trick here is that when everyone pushes out to 3 or 9, there is a line in between opening your body to its greatest extent and actually going too far. You have to find the line so that you do not go that little bit further where you feel like you're going to go flying off your feet. So go into movement 3. Focusing on opening and closing. So you're closing through 6 and 12 and opening at 3 and 9. And so there is a bend of the spine at 6 and 12 and an extension at 3 and 9. Bend the bow, shoot the arrow. Make sure that each time you come back to 3 or 9, that you come back connected to all the joints of your body, particularly your arms and shoulders. And your lower dantian. Usually closing to 6 and 12 is not a particular issue, but the opening to the sides is where you have to really be sure you don't lose your base. Or disconnect internally. If you haven't reversed, you might try that. Okay, so pause and relax. Let's sit for a moment and tell me what happened for you there.
I don't think it was an omen, but right at the beginning, my power blipped and I lost connection.
You must have been opening and closing very powerfully. Yeah.
Well, I certainly noticed that I first was going to the right in the circles,
Uh-huh.
and that seemed really quite smooth and comfortable, and going to the left was not.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure what's making it uncomfortable. Or at one point, I did lose my base. I was too far onto my toes
Mm-hmm.
in that direction, and the at 12. I'm still, and we're closing, but the dantian should be rising, and the back is bending. But how does this? And it seemed to just be okay going toward the right and onto the left. Maybe I started thinking about it too much, but it was. Um, how is this working? Is this working?
Yeah, it is confusing. Um, I have to say my own experience when I was working on this, because as I was thinking about this exercise, I remembered that as I practiced this, it really helped me clarify the movement through 12, which I initially had the same issues or concerns I think that you're indicating, because it certainly feels initially like an opening movement, but if your back is bending, if your dantian is closing, it begins to feel like, even though the movement has if you let yourself get lost in the physical movement, the movement seems to be extending. Actually, it can all close, and it can close more easily than when we didn't think about opening and closing. When we were just trying to think about how do we twist and bend and whatever through that without, how do you put that together with the slight rise of the movement? Well, opening and closing for me was the answer. It clarified that. And made it possible for me to make it work. 6 is not such a problem. 6 is going in the other direction. It's already going down. It's a little easier to feel that closing there. So I just encourage you to keep working with this and allowing that closing to help you clarify that upper movement.
What part of the body is driving the rise?
The dantian. And it's also driving the closing. Bill or Bill?
It was pretty smooth for me, generally speaking. I found that 3 and 9 were most prominent for the ribs opening and closing. I mean, just that position out there seemed to demand that the ribs be open. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More so, I focused on that a little bit. I still have. I'll tell you what I do. When I'm trying to monitor, I start with the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, and now the ribs, and I just go through the sequence in my head because I'm not sure they're all working together. I mean, I feel good, but I'm not sure that what's supposed to be happening is happening. At each stage. So that's what I do. And when I do it, I sort of feel bad that I'm back there at connecting the dots, but it's still necessary.
We all go through the stage of connecting the dots. I mean, you don't have to feel bad about that. I think it's really important to spend some practice time focused on coordinating everything together, and not necessarily, as I said, including it in a form, because there are a lot of. I mean, you can think of ways too. I'm going to give you another one in a minute, but there are lots of ways to do it very simply. One is simply just to stand and open and close and get everything to work together. I mean, that's very basic. And gradually get it to incorporate into the movement. So you're not doing anything wrong, Bill. It's just you're still working through that stage of getting everything to work together.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
At this point, I should be able to notice something. Yeah.
Don't should yourself. Mr. Bynum?
sorry my power went out for a few. I missed most of the commentary while we were doing that, so I'll go back and take a look at it. One of the things that I do think about is in terms of flexing the bow is we're moving from, say, we're going from 3 up to 12 and to 6. So I'm with the C curve or the flexing the bow. So as you're coming up, you start that flexing. So you're opening the back of the spine and closing the front of the spine. And then that's gradual until you get all the way across and then start the expanding. And um, I guess I'm confirming that you sort of have that maximum C just before you start opening the front of the spine in effect.
So when you look at the spine, and we have a lot. There's another year's training. There are a lot of things about the spine. One is that when we learned the Taoist spine stretch, which is where we first began to really understand about the movement of the spine and the movement of the energy there, we became aware of the fact that the energy moves in both directions in the spine simultaneously, just as it does everywhere else in the body. But you can focus your emphasis to either one. You don't have to be aware of both happening at once, except in 7. But that's another issue. But when you're bending the bow, basically the spine is closing. And when you're shooting the arrow, the spine is opening. And those movements, the movement of the spine itself does not change from what we learned in the Taoist spine stretch. So as you bend, you're actually creating space in the posterior spine, and as you shoot the arrow, you're creating space in the front of the spine. So I understand it's not crystal clear, perhaps. It's not. That's the movement of the spine. The energy is flowing in both, as I said, both directions constantly. But you can focus on opening or closing and emphasizing that energy in either direction. So, I don't know, does that help, Bill, or have I confused you?
I, I don't think I'm confused. I think the spine is completely different from an elbow or
Yes,
obviously, or
absolutely.
because it is in terms of individual uh, joints, it is opening and closing simultaneously, mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when it's open, think of the spinal cord in the middle. It doesn't have to navigate anything when it's sort of in that neutral or in the when the um, what is it the anterior is open, it straightens out more.
Perhaps.
Yeah. And And I understand they can stretch apart and they can stretch, to tilt, sort of go
Mm-hmm.
like this
Mm-hmm.
or go like this.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about with the spine without you having taken us very far yet. So,
Well, and I think it's also again important not to try to think too much about that, and accept that the energy can flow through the spine in both directions simultaneously, but you can emphasize its flow in either direction by its unification with opening and closing, particularly the dantian. The dantian really is what drives the spine. So, other questions or thoughts at the moment? Okay. So, another way to practice this is doing it in a standing posture. And let me see, I need to get a little further away here. You can see. So, the position I'm going to want you to take is to bring the hands up, palms up, roughly about chest height, wherever is comfortable. Let your shoulder tell you where to go, Carol. And make sure you keep the armpits open. And the arms aren't going to really move much. But obviously, in this position, you can bend the bow and shoot the arrow. And at the same time, you can begin to open and close all the parts of the body. So, if you would stand up again and see if you can find that position. If your hands need to be a little more fully apart, that's fine. They should just be more towards center than the sides. So this will naturally have a tendency to compress your opening and closing in your body. And this can be a very difficult movement because as you're coming up the center line of the body, everything in the spine and everything in the guts that is going to that is tight is going to be released. So it's not at all like a position with the arms open when the body will easily be able to do it. So what you need to do here is keeping the hands out is first just start pulsing the hands. So just opening and closing the hands. And then the wrists. And the elbows. And the shoulders. And then begin to add the ribs. Make sure that your body is not collapsed, but opened up to its fullest extent. In order to get what is inside the abdomen and dantian to also begin to open. Use your ribs to open the dantian at the moment. Using the ribs usually will begin to put pressure on the joints. So that they open and balance out. And then the final stage would be to focus to opening and closing the dantian and using it to control your ribs and all the parts of your arms. So relax. And I did take you through that a little quickly. You might need to go much more slowly in order to accomplish each stage of that connection. So that doesn't always, you would not necessarily always do everything each time you practice that, but do it in stages until you can coordinate everything at that stage clearly without effort. questions, thoughts? Have I confused you?
I think coordinating that way, it felt really good. So,
Good. Well, that's good.
I will say that I found opening the shoulders to be the most difficult
Hmm.
with the arms held in so close. Yeah.
Yep. Not a big surprise. Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, I'll let you go on to hopefully having a good week of practice on this. Thank you.
continue to feel better, David.
Thank you. I am. It's a pleasure to do class.
It's a pleasure to have you doing class. And this is the start of a new one, right?
Yes, this is the beginning of a new session. Both bills have sent me checks. Thank you. So, very good. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Have a good week, everyone.
I will. Hope your elbow does better, Bill.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought Joanne was going to be able to join us.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. But I guess I guess something came up.
Maybe the health worker didn't show up or something.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just processing my.
thank you.
You were looking. You got it.
Yes, I did.
Well, continue feeling better.
I will. You can, of course, at least begin to play a little with putting some of this into the form.
Yeah.
It can really help to open things up and make it less mechanical. Although I didn't feel your form was particularly mechanical,
Yeah. I don't feel that it's particularly mechanical,
but
but it's just another level of opening and closing, which is kind of what I focus on most of the time anyway.
good.
Well, except when I'm having trouble staying present so that I get to a posture and say, wait a minute, this doesn't come next.
That happens to you? Not unusual, my dear.
No, I know.
Happens to all of us.
Yeah. And my brain tends to get a little distracted. It's doing the gods and doing the form is a time when it's I'm not filling it with distractions, so it fills itself.
Well, you have a lot.
Possibly with what I need to be aware of. So
Well, you do have a lot on your plate anyway, so you do the best you can.
yeah,
Did you know Bill Otfanaski,
yeah.
LEO? He died June 26th.
I knew he was having problems, but
Yeah,
he was a sweet man.
very much so. His wife did not let me know. I just actually found out yesterday. I just called her to check in. Actually, I called him, but she answered, and so I found out then. Yeah, he had been going downhill for quite a while, and so yeah, he was really a very very sweet guy, very devoted.
Yeah.
I was really very fond of him. So
Have they done a memorial, or are they going to?
yeah, well, they did a funeral.
Oh.
I didn't even know about it. I would have certainly gone, but
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was just thinking after your just episode. Whoa, Jane's got a whole list of people she's going to have to contact. I hope she has a something so that that's not a stress for her. Trying to remember which classes and
I we've never talked about that particular element. I don't know.
well, maybe you might want to think about that a little bit.
Yeah,
This is the mailing list.
yeah.
Letting everybody know. Or
She could go through my phone contacts.
yeah, but you might want to try to give her something really simple to.
Yeah, yeah. It's entirely conceivable that I will go before she does.
Well, you're quite a bit older than she is, aren't you?
Yeah, 16 years.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'm not giving up yet.
Oh no! Oh no!
So, do you have any other questions, Carol?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, hopefully Joanne sounded like she had a lot going on today anyway.
Yeah. What did she say? Something about?
A New London meeting around noon.
Yeah.
I don't know what all. She's a busy woman.
Oh, I just got an email that she just can't make this morning.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Sent it at 8:58.
oh. Well, I haven't been on my email yet today, so.
Well, I can check it on the phone, so that makes life easier.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'll get this out. So if anybody wants to reference it, they can play around with it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So you have a good day and a good week.
Thank you.
And, give John my regards, and I hope he feels better.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, Carol.
Bye. Yeah. Bye.